Hello everybody and welcome to Reed's Reads. I'm your host Ryan Reed, webmaster and creator of Spider-Girl's World, as well as the upcoming Rockin' Raccoon website. Well, you're probably wondering, what is this all about? Well, Reed's Reads was started about 10 years ago back at my old job where I used to do reviews for my coworkers, and I'd type them out and I would have them review and give my thoughts and ideas about the comics that I had read and see if they were interested and if they wanted to follow up with the stories and are buying. I have recently decided to recreate Reed's Reads, but now into a podcast such as this here, and talk about current comics that I am reading and experiencing. And the first pick I have decided for this first edition of Reed's Reads is, of course, the new, wonderful, and great Thunderstrike #1 by DeFalco and Frenz. This is a very good mini-series that introduces a modern-day Thunderstrike. But you're probably asking yourself, now who's Thunderstrike, Ryan? Well, that's why this exists. Eric Masterson originally appeared as a supporting cast member in Thor 391 during the 80s. He was a construction worker and after saving a co-worker from falling debris was severely injured. Eventually he was attacked by the villains known as Mongoose and Quicksand and was almost killed. As a result, Thor pleaded with Odin to help save him and the two were merged, and Eric became Thor's human identity for a number of years. Eventually Thor and Eric were separated, and Eric was of course created as Asgard's new champion on Earth, and he served on the Avengers and a few other teams. Unfortunately, he ended up confronting the Egyptian god Seth, who, of course, was so powerful, Eric unfortunately could not defeat him, and he had to use the power of the Blood Axe to stop him, but unfortunately, in doing so, came possessed by the power of the spirit of the Blood Axe. Thor eventually confronted Eric along with the Avengers, and in an ending result, Eric was able to drive out the Blood Axe, but in doing so at the cost of his own life. He originally was offered a place in Valhalla, but decided to go to the afterlife as a normal Earthling. Now, flash forwarding to 1998, Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz created the MC2 universe, where Kevin Masterson's, Eric's son, was given the power of the Thunderstrike from the original series and became the modern-day Thunderstrike in the MC2 universe, and eventually fought off with the sides of Spider-Girl and various other superheroes in the MC2 universe, and was pretty popular up to pretty much until recently. Now, with all that little history lesson out of the way, we can now talk about what the actual comic book Thunderstrike #1 is actually about, and you're in for quite a surprise. Now, Thunderstrike #1 takes place in the current Marvel Universe, where Kevin Masterson, now a teenager in the middle of New York, has recently been transferred. However, much different from the MC2 universe, this Kevin Masterson tends to have some anger issues. He's constantly getting in fights, he's constantly being reported to the principal and quite a few other things. And pretty much his stepfather and his mother tell him to get in shape or get out. Of course, he gets recruited by Steve Rogers, formerly Captain America, and is given his father's hammer, which, if everybody remembers from the Avengers series, was given to Steve just before disassembled for safekeeping. Of course, eventually Kevin realizes how to use the power of the Thunderstrike, and just in time, too, as, of course, everybody's favorite Spider-Man villain, the Rhino, comes crashing in on a mercenary attack. Of course, it takes a little while, but Kevin eventually masters the power of the Thunderstrike, but he realizes in the end he ends up has turned into his own father, Eric Masterson. The series is pretty good. It reintroduced plenty of supporting cast members and also brought in a classic Avengers villain such as Miss Champion, who wants to grab the Thunderstrike for his own collection, and to find out that it has also alerted Asgard, especially Valhalla, where, of course, Thunderstrike was supposed to be. And, of course, it gets revealed that the beings watching are Farah, the guardian of Valhalla, and the current Valkyrie, who is sent to Earth to tell Eric how to use the Thunderstrike before it's too late by Lady Sif. I really like this issue very well. Tom DeFalco was able to introduce all the elements of the original Thunderstrike, especially in the backup feature in Valhalla, which pretty much explains the entire origin and life of Eric Masterson, and introducing his ex-wife, and of course, Bobby Steele, who nobody's seen for about 20 years, so it's pretty good to see the original leader of the Smashers back from my childhood. Ron Frenz, his artwork was fantastic in this book. I mean, I think he really knocked it up a notch since he left Spider-Girl or should I say the ending of Spider-Girl. Don't get me mixed up with a Rainus series right now. We'll say that for another Reads. But I really enjoyed this issue extremely much. One person I will mention, even though he's not mentioned in the cover, is Todd Knack, who, of course, people know from Young Allies and Spider-Man, but who did the backup feature here for the origin of Thunderstrike, as well as getting Valhalla alerted for that the new Thunderstrike is risen and that Valkyrie has to go and train him before it's too late. Why, we don't know. But I really love the nice little surprise twist here that pretty much Steve Rogers set up everything up with Kevin, and even more that he basically mentions Avengers Academy. Of course, he doesn't mention that the Avengers Academy is to keep people who might be turned into supervillains to become heroes, which, of course, as we see as the entire series here, Kevin's got some bad anger issues, and I'm not talking about your usual teenage angst you'll see on a CW drama or something on Fox Family, but it makes for a very interesting and compelling story. There's some very interesting little spots here. Actually, May Parker actually is in the fight scene in the back crowd. It's actually May. It's pretty funny. Apparently she typed warm between dimensions, but hey, we can do that. It's Marvel. It works. It's Marvel magic. I'm going to give the series a 4 stars out of 5. I really thought it was a great jumping on issue, and for fans of the original Thunderstrike or the current Thunderstrike of MC2, this will be the perfect series to jump on in the modern Marvel Universe. I think the artwork was fantastic by both Todd and Ron. And I'm really looking forward to the next couple of issues, especially with the elements introduced, such as Valkyrie coming to Earth, the return of a Miss Champion, and, of course, some things going on with Steve Rogers' little team as they try to figure out what's going on with Kevin now he's unleashed the power. But even the more shocking news, and of course, is somehow Kevin now looks like his father and not some built-up, powerful adult version of himself. So that'll be interesting to see. So I say go out to your comic book store, spend your $3.99, and just read this comic. You won't regret it at all. Well, that's going to do it for this first edition of Reads. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll get better as time goes on. I mean, it's the first time going through it, and there's always room for improvement. So be sure to check out my website, Spider-Girl's World, at www.freewebtown/spideynow/index.html. You can also check out the blog for the site over at spidergirlsworld.blogspot.com. And you can check out my new website, which is tylerquicktime.blogspot.com, which is all about Jesse Quick and Our Man. And be sure to look out for my upcoming new series, Rockin' Raccoon, which is about Rocket Raccoon in the Cosmic Marvel Universe. It's going to be some exciting stuff. So see everybody out and have a good week.